Peter MacKay is my guest, Canada's former Foreign Affairs Minister. He worked with Colin Powell, called him a friend. Peter, good to see you today. Your thoughts?
Well, saddened obviously by the loss and thoughts of his family. He was an enormously humble man for all of the accomplishments that you referenced, and the fact that he was relied upon heavily by a number of administrations, both Republican and Democrat. It spoke to his patriotism and nonpartisan nature. You mentioned he was a voice of moderation. He was an individual who truly believed in the importance of democracy and the role that the United States played in the world. He had a significant military career, but also a diplomatic career, and was an advisor to other countries as well in their pursuit of democracy. And he'll be sorely missed at a time when things are polarized and very divided in the United States, as they are in other countries, including our own. Colin Powell was always a voice of reason and a voice of understanding, and one who deeply valued education and information.
And I understand you spoke to him in recent weeks.
I did. We spoke about 3 weeks ago. We had a tradition of speaking every couple of months, and I called him just before Canadian Thanksgiving and told him how thankful I was for his friendship. And quite frankly, I could tell that he was laboring at that time. The blood cancer that truly diminished his immunization system was with him for some time. But he was a very private man. He, of course, deeply valued his family, his friends, and he will be sorely missed. He was an icon of his generation and somebody who contributed mightily to public policy, debate, and a better world. I believe the number of schools in the United States that bear his name is one of the things that he was most proud of, and provided information to countries around the world on how they could better themselves in terms of public policy.
And, you think about a different scenario in which he may have run for president at one point. That, of course, did not happen. But how do you think he should be remembered? What do you think his legacy is going to be, Peter?
Well, I think his legacy was one of a man deeply committed to peace and security, someone who had seen a lot. He enlisted at a young age in the late 50s and rose to be a four-star general, but took from that experience the need to try to bring about greater peace and diplomacy, which is what he strove to do later in his life, serving various presidents. Colin Powell should be remembered as somebody who was enormously committed to public service, and really is somebody who I think set a high watermark. You referenced the issue with respect to Iraq. He clearly regretted that for the rest of his life. And yet, I think his humility was such that he was a person who could be very honest about mistakes, while at the same time forging ahead in an effort to build a better world.
Yeah, great point. And do you think there's any credibility to the argument that he was almost used, Peter, by the Bush administration to provide cover for their controversial decision to go into Iraq in 2003?
Well, I've heard that theory put forward. He was somebody who obviously did not hesitate to take on people like Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney as they sat around the cabinet table. He clearly had the ear of President Bush, and I believe he made his views known. Look, intelligence can be flawed, and we have seen examples of that throughout history. But I have no doubt of Colin Powell's commitment to integrity and honesty and transparency when it came to public policy. And he was somebody who clearly believed in accountability. I suspect that he learned much of that in the discipline that he had throughout his military career, and the accountability that he felt to the men and women he served with, in addition to his political cabinet as a member of the George Bush administration.
Peter MacKay joining us. Always good to have you on the program, Peter. Thanks for taking the time today.